Alright, today I want to talk about Pell work. Kind of the different purposes of it a little bit. I practice Pell work in a more historical style, hence longsword. I enjoy longsword, so that's what I practice mostly. But I use my Pell for sword and board, any style that requires a significant amount of range. And then I'm not where I want to be at. This is good, especially now, because, well, we're all stuck inside because of this virus. So I want to go over my approach to Pell. Now, one of the things you guys can't see is I have let's see if you guys can see it, lines on the floor that I drew out or taped out that have kind of my guidelines for how I step and move. This way, if I want to step on, say, straight forward and then off to the side, I have a measurable distance that I can repeat over and over and over again. That means if I want to add a new cut or combo into my routine, I just have to build the footwork for it first and then figure out how to add the cut into that. So if I'm going to come in and say, I'm just going to do a simple side-to-side combo. I'm going to step out first, say, and then step over here. This puts me in I think for longsword, a very biomechanical way of moving. I'm putting body mechanics into it by leveraging my hips, making the kind of lever motion in my sword, but I'm also taking that step when I move. That gives me 3 to 4 different points of generating power. By having a guideline for my footwork when I practice Pell, this means it's consistent. This means that every time I step, I have a point from the beginning to the end and a middle section. So my Pell my lines start all the way out here, almost off camera. This is mid, this is end. And each one of those steps takes me offline. I'll start over here, here, and here. What that does is, 1, it makes me a little less predictable. 2, it gives me that power generation, which less so for Dag, but for longsword mechanics is important. And it's kind of something I developed more for myself. I've looked at longsword treatises, I've looked at the basic footwork. I like the footwork, but everybody and their mother studies longsword. So if you copy longsword straight over from any of the manuals or treatises or disciples or whatever the teachers, you're going to be predictable by anybody who's read longsword. So I just did a simple set of lines, and all my fighting post as of 2 or 3 years ago is all based and centered on that. But back to the Pell stuff. That's the basics. Before I even start hitting the Pell, that's my mindset, is setting up consistent footwork that leads me to a goal. If your footwork isn't right, you're not going to get good power generation. You're not going to get a good consistent flow when you're fighting. Obviously, there are situations where that fucking disappears. If you're fighting, you're in a weird situation. Obviously, you can't take those steps. But having that basic footwork is going to take you a long way. So I keep that in mind before I even go to the Pell. And then when I go to the Pell, it's kind of 2 mindsets. The first one is, well, what am I working on? And then fundamentals. My fundamentals are going to be the basic cuts. So here, 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 and here. That's kind of 6 directions. I don't ever focus down or straight up because, well, both of those are just not nice. Straight up tends to be nut shot, straight down tends to be a headshot. But if you practice the basic 6 variations here, 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 and here, you can vary those anywhere on the clock you want to go. But just practicing that motion. This motion is not very much different from this motion or this motion. They're all in that same little section of the clock, if you want to say that. 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 motion there. And you can do that with a one-handed sword. You can do all that motion while practicing with a shield. But those are the first one. Those are my fundamentals, my basic cuts. So I'll sit there and do 10 or 15 of each one, you know, and go through the motion. So that would be one, and then boom, 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 two. You can mix it up. You don't have to go the same angle. Honestly, I advise mixing it up because that way you're not ever in a one single pattern. You're getting unique movements in your muscles when you're practicing. And then I would say your combos. You got bread and butter combos. Certain combos are just more efficient than others when you're practicing on a Pell, or some are less efficient in real life and you want to practice them and get better at them. My favorite is, this is my bread and butter for sword and borders. I'll come over, threaten a red shot, block, and then throw a shoulder or under the arm shot. And so I'll practice that. I'll throw a big wide shot to the shield, practice blocking up, throw a shot. I'll practice that 10, 20 times maybe. And then I'll move on to my next combo. My other favorite combo is shooting for an arm or shoulder or underarm if their arm is raised to the left, would be my right, their left. And then I would throw a shot off to my left and their right. Now that's a super simple combo, but getting that motion down, that's very, very important to throwing a combo. That's the basic combo. Boom, boom, boom. You can throw a 3-hit combo that way. Now, is it predictable? Yes, but by doing that, you build the muscle up to be able to change it. Throw 2 and then off to the side, or hell, you throw 1 low, 1 high, and then off over here. Or in between that, boom, block, cut. By having a Pell, it gives you a good idea. Now, I use a mannequin. It's just easier. Most people have a torso-shaped Pell of some kind. That gives you a good idea against an average person with your footwork. Now, these are all before I've thrown footwork in. Now, say I want to come up here. I'm going to throw that red shot, come up to block, and then step out. So if I'm viewing you, that would be throw that red shot, step out to block that shot, and come over here. Now, because you're practicing on a Pell, you can experiment and do all kinds of things, but that's what I do. I go through my basic cuts, my basic combos, things that are my bread and butter techniques, and then I go and do experimental stuff. Like right now, I'm learning something like this. It's really weird. So I start with a cut to the leg, a block, and then back over here. It's a shoulder shot, but I'm gonna start at the arm so I can go boom, boom, boom. And then after that, in theory, I can come here.